What's up, good people and Eagle fans? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. We were lucky to get a win last night when it seemed like all was lost. And I know a lot of people out there are mad that we didn't win good enough. You know what? And it's the freaking NFL. A win is a win. And I don't want to hear this, well, we could have lost this, or, Dak had 2 interceptions, and this, that, and the other. Well, there's a lot of people that had a lot of mistakes, but they were able to overcome the mistakes and find a freaking way to get a win. And especially when it seemed like we were completely lost without DeMarcus Lawrence and without Micah Parsons. But we had what you want to have happen is people step up. And one of the things or keys that I said, I talked about this key going into the game, about one of the most important things is if we can get Mozzie Smith playing better in the middle, your interior defensive line is the biggest bang for your buck and changes everything for the defense. And Mozzie didn't have a bad game. He's got 3 tackles and 1 assist in that game, which is great because the last 3 games he's had 3 tackles in each one of them. He's getting penetration, he's getting comfortable, and mind you, he's only had 5 starts in his NFL career. But that's actually not the person that I want to talk about. Linval Joseph was the highest rated player for the Dallas Cowboys last night. He had an 89. And you can credit, you can look at it and say, Overshown was great and did this, that, and the other, or, blah, 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 blah. But it's the unsung heroes, those dogs in the middle, that win you and lose you games. And one of the things that has been missing from the Dallas Cowboys for so long is being able to get great play from the interior defensive line. The Cowboys typically don't spend a lot of money on the interior defensive line, and they have spent some draft picks, but the draft picks haven't panned out for them the way you'd like. But last night was the best performance that I have seen from our defensive line in a very, very long time. And because they did that, Justin Fields couldn't get comfortable in the pocket. He couldn't step up. Now, people, of course, are having revisionist history now and saying, well, Justin Fields isn't that good of a quarterback. And yeah, okay, I hear you guys. But it's funny, he had over 300 yards last week, and people were comparing him this past week to Pat Mahomes. Now he's dog crap. I get it, because he played the Cowboys and lost. But because your interior defensive line gets a push, a quarterback can't step up. So, for example, you saw where J.J. Watt got his 100th career sack. He was able to get around the edge and get up Dak Prescott. The offensive lineman is trying to wash him past the quarterback. Typically, the quarterback will step up in the pocket and be able to make a play. But if your defensive front is holding the line and getting a push, the quarterback's not going to feel comfortable stepping up. He's going to drift back, and that's where your defensive line, your edge rushers, get the sack. So the interior defensive lineman doesn't get the tackle. He doesn't get the sack. It's somebody else that gets the glory because of the interior defensive play. And in the same breath, because the quarterback has somebody in their face, how many times do you see a ball batted down? When you have a guy, that's 6'4", 300 plus pounds, and he's pushing and he's standing up and he's got his hands up in the air, that means I've got to throw in between him. I got to look around him and try and find where the receiver is. And when you have somebody the size of Linval Joseph, who is big, coming at you like a wild boar, and is like an eclipse that's blocking out the sunlight, it makes it harder for the quarterback. And it helps the linebackers because now he's got 2 offensive linemen that are taking care of him. And if that happens, then the guards can't get to the linebackers. The linebackers can see everything. They can roam. They can scrape. They can get to the point of attack and come downhill making tackles. See, it's a whole cause and effect thing that happens with having good interior defensive line play. And because you are now hurrying up the quarterback, the D-backs have it a little bit easier because they're not having to sit there while the quarterback is comfortable, running around, looking and looking and looking and waiting for you to make a mistake. So all of these things are key in how the defense works. And having the guys on the front line there, Mike Zimmer used them perfectly on getting pressure, being able to hold the gaps, penetrate, and make sure the quarterback didn't feel comfortable. So I'm ecstatic now that, Mike Zimmer, and I've said a couple of times that, when you're implementing a new system, sometimes it takes time to understand what the new guy wants. We had the same thing that happened last year with Mike McCarthy's offense. It took him some time to adjust and get comfortable with the offense before they started playing. And maybe that's the case here with the defense, that Mike Zimmer, it didn't just fall off the salad truck like everybody has been saying that he needs to be fired. I know that we as Cowboy fans expect instant gratification. We expect everything to happen right now. And that's not the case. It's not the case at all. Sometimes it takes time to learn. But you have to all of a sudden feel a little bit better from what you saw from Tyron Wheat, from Golston. Golston had the best game of his career. Mozzie Smith, Osa and Digazua had a nice tackle for loss, or was it a sack? And Linval Joseph. Where we were a couple of weeks ago, where we seemed completely lost against other teams that were running the football, this was the best performance we've seen stopping the team that is predicated on running the football. Now, mind you, they were injured. They were without their tackles, but we had to shift our offensive line too. We had people that were out as well. And a lot of these guys that were playing against that Steeler team that they're going to try and sell you at, that, they were hurt. We weren't hurt on our defense. We weren't hurt. Without Marshawn Nealon, without Sam Williams, without DeMarcus Lawrence, without Micah Parsons, without Deron Bland, without Ceylon Carson, we had 6 guys. We're missing 6 guys off of our defense. So I don't want to hear any of that bull jiggity that they're trying to give us that, the Steelers had 2 guys hurt. Well, dudes, we had 6. So there you go. All right, got to change some light fixtures here, and we're working on a roof and pick up roofing supplies, and there's always so much shit to do. Peace.